we expected them because of the firepower that they brought in with Wirtz and Ekatike. I think everyone thought, oh, they're just going to beat teams 3 and 4-0 because of that quality that they've got. And I think that's the narrative that's being put around the football club.
It is early days, but I feel like Liverpool are living on the margins a little bit. They do have this knack so far of getting that goal after 83 minutes in stoppage time in some cases to win these matches. But it's always this perennial question, I guess. Is this the stuff of champions, or are they living on the edge in a way that, I think Arsenal did last season, where they just drew so many matches because they didn't get that goal they needed, because it's such a binary game, football. There's, 1-0 is so close to being 0-0. I wonder your thoughts on Liverpool so far, and that they are, they're perfect so far in the league, but they have not always been popping in 3 or 4 goals and steamrolling people.
Yeah, I think I think there's a lot around. We expected them because of the firepower that they brought in with Wirtz and Ekatike. I think everyone thought, oh, they're just going to beat teams 3 and 4-0 because of that quality that they've got. And I think that's the narrative that's being put around the football club. But they've got to gel. They've got to understand each other. That takes time. Yes, the business was done early in the transfer window, so maybe they're actually a little bit ahead of schedule. When you talk about scoring late goals, that's a mindset. And what I mean by that is if you're in the 80th minute and beyond, people start to tighten up and get tense because they feel that pressure. Now, if you think of Szoboszlai's free kick or Mohamed Salah's penalty, if you tense up in those situations, Szoboszlai doesn't put that free kick in the top corner because he's not in a relaxed state of mind. He's not calm about his ability. So you have to flip it and look at it in that way and say, no, they're very confident in their ability to get the job done still and trust the quality that they have. So, I think at the moment, Liverpool, they're perfect without being perfect. And I think there's still a lot more to come from them. But as long as you're still winning games in that period of transitional period where you're still bedding players in, what a great position to be in. Because there's a lot of teams who have kept the same squads or maybe added 1 or 2 players which are still suffering and not quite getting the results they want.
Yeah, there is a bit of the Bayer Leverkusen about it, that belief, in that magic season they had, that they had so many matches where they scored it on 95 minutes to get a goal back, either, equalize or often to win those matches. And I think it is a matter of belief, which is champion stuff. I would probably lean that way as well.
Yeah, well, I was at a lot of games when Liverpool won the league title under Jurgen Klopp, and I think there was a game against Sheffield United away from home, and Wijnaldum scuffed it in from. I mean, it went through the keeper's arms. It was a really poor goal. They win the game 1-0. Away at Villa Park, they score a really late goal. And people never remembered those moments. And they just look back and say, oh, Liverpool won the league. They dominated it that year. They dominated to certain extents. But there's games which are very, very difficult that you just have to find a way of winning. And that is it, what, like you said before, that's what champions do. And essentially, so far, that's what they've been able to do in a couple of games. Let's not forget, limping across the line against Arsenal is not an easy thing. And it was a tough game. And because you don't want to lose ground on your rivals who you think are going to be going toe-to-toe with. So that was a huge result at Anfield. And it does take a moment of quality. But that's why you spend £60 million pounds or $80 million on a player to come up with those moments of magic as and when you need them to.